Hello again to our lovers of progress. In this episode, we explore how Andrew Carnegie transforms the steel industry. On the darker side, we delve into the case of Alfred Dreyfus in France. At the end of round 23, the UK leads with 339 progress points, with Germany, the US, and France trailing. Okay, we move to the governance panel where we see that the UK has a GDP of 452. That translates into 20 tokens. It is now time, once again, to increase our base domain strength points. So taking a look at our table here, we see that Germany has a commanding lead in science, so I think we'll stay away from that domain. Also, the US has a definite advantage in resources, so maybe we'll stay away from that too. But let's take a look at transportation and engineering. In transportation, we have domain strength points of 5 compared with the US and France, who have 4. In engineering, we have domain strength points of 7 to 5 for France. So I would say one or the other. One, either transportation or engineering. So I think in terms of comparative advantage, I think I will put one more base domain strength point item to transportation. Okay, let's take a look at the breakthroughs here for this round. Germany has 17 tokens, US is up to 28 now, and France has 20, not too much behind in terms of our tokens. So let's see here. We're ahead in transportation and engineering. So I would just perhaps start by distributing our tokens sort of evenly across the board between the transportation and engineering breakthroughs. After paying royalties where necessary. 12 tokens left over. Again, let's see what happens here. We'll put them out there pretty evenly, except for the steam-powered aircraft there on the lower row, second from the left. 6 tokens left over. Let's just kind of distribute them like that and see what happens. Okay. We got 3 breakthroughs. The iron lattice tower, electric elevator, and all steel rail bridge. Okay, so it looks like the US came out ahead there with 15 progress points. We did not do too badly. We got 10 progress points, 4 for France and 4 for Germany. Okay, we have a news item from France, and we see where a Mr. Alfred Dreyfus has been accused of espionage. The French army has recovered from its defeat in the Franco-Prussian War. However, many of its officers despise the parliamentary republic. The duel using sword or small pistol, sometimes causing death, is popular. Enter Edouard Drumont. With the publication of Jewish France in Libre Parole. Maximilian von Schwarzkopf is a German military attaché who effectively infiltrates the French military. A French housekeeper finds a torn-up note which she delivers to the French Military Intelligence Service. This note contains military secrets and is addressed to Schwarzkopf. Captain Alfred Dreyfus is a Jewish Alsatian artillery officer identified as a suspect. Major Paty Duclaume prides himself on being an expert in graphology and matches some letters by Dreyfus with the note. Clom addressed Dreyfus and accuses him of conspiring with the enemy. Dreyfus is imprisoned. Despite a vigorous defense, Dreyfus is found guilty in a closed trial. Dreyfus endures a ceremony of degradation wherein officers' badges are stripped and sword broken. He is paraded through the streets with a large crowd chanting, "Death to Judas! Death to the Jew!" Dreyfus is transferred to Devil's Island where, apart from his guards, he is the island's only inhabitant and lives in a small stone hut. The temperature reaches 45 degrees centigrade. Dreyfus is underfed or fed contaminated food. He becomes sick and is shaken by fevers. It gets worse. Dreyfus is forced to stay in bed motionless with his ankles shackled. To be continued. Okay, round 25, and it's time to select an advisor. Ooh, okay, we have some interesting choices here. Ernst Rutherford, Guglielmo Marconi, Charles Parsons, or Cecil Rhodes. We've been working with Cecil Rhodes there for a while. I would say let's perhaps try someone different here. Mr. Marconi. Okay. We have 24 tokens to 35 for Germany, 30 for US, and 10 for France. Yeah, they used up a lot of their carryover tokens. So, let's see here. In science, France has definitely the upper hand. We only have 3 domain strength points, and they have 9. In transportation, Germany and the U.S. dominate there with all their tokens, and each of them have 7 domain strength points. In engineering, we're competitive in engineering. We have 4 domain strength points to 4 for the U.S. Also in resources, with Mr. Marconi, we are tied with the U.S. with 7 domain strength points. However, again, we have 24 tokens and the U.S. has 30 now. So maybe we have to be a little more careful here. So, but let's start here with engineering, where we have an advantage. Pay 1 royalty to Germany. Let's also take a look here at the resources breakthroughs. We have to pay royalties again. So we have 17 tokens here. So let's kind of distribute them like that. Maybe a couple more here, more here, more here, more here. Let's plow into that one. That looks like a nice juicy one. Efficient steel manufacturing. Okay, well, we got that one. Efficient steel manufacturing. And we will get into a little more detail on that one right now. The U.S. is having a railroad construction boom. Steel is needed for rails and rolling stock. On the right, enter young Andrew Carnegie from Scotland to help. Carnegie learns cost accounting while working at the Pennsylvania Railroad. For his steel manufacturing operations, Carnegie institutes a detailed system for tracking costs for each process and employee. Carnegie achieves significant cost reductions. The cost per ton of steel produced drops by 79% from 1893 to 1900. This is accomplished by, for example, vertical integration. And with the Bessemer process, relatively unskilled men can make vast quantities of steel cheaply. Furnaces need to be relined, often due to so-called hard driving. However, this is paid for by increased efficiencies. By the turn of the century, most of Carnegie's steel comes from vast brick ovens called open hearth furnaces. Open hearth furnaces produce terrific heat. Carnegie upgrades to the latest modern equipment, such as overhead cranes. Carnegie takes the lead by employing chemists. Labor is just another input. Many ordinary unskilled laborers are Slav, Italian, and Hungarian immigrants off the boat. Due to awful working conditions, Carnegie Steel has a high turnover of laborers, often exceeding 100% per year. The lower orders eventually have a big strike, which is suppressed by the local militia. J.P. Morgan, the country's most powerful banker, merges Carnegie Steel Corporation with 9 other steel companies to form the world's largest corporation. Andrew Carnegie becomes the richest man in the U.S., but he gives most of his money to a wide variety of philanthropies, especially libraries. Against much of public opinion, he also ineffectively campaigns as an ardent anti-war and anti-imperialist. So Germany came out ahead in this round with 20 progress points to 8 for the U.S., and we got 7. Not too bad, considering. So at the end of the round, we are still pretty much in the lead. But we see U.S. coming up. Today we played rounds 24 and 25 of 31 rounds. The UK continues to hold its lead, with the US gradually moving up. We saw how Andrew Carnegie works his way up in life by revolutionizing steel production. Meanwhile in France, clouds start to form, with one of its officers, Alfred Dreyfus, being tried and convicted for espionage on flimsy evidence. Progress junkies will want to have this massive doorstopper on their bookshelves. An encyclopedia of the history of technology is a major source of information and inspiration for the creation of Era of Progress. Please indicate a like and subscribe to our channel. As always, your questions and comments are greatly appreciated. Go to Google Play to access the Android compatible version.